put the thing in the corner.
That works.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it needs a chat window.
No. That looks fine.
Hello. How's it going? Meow.
You gonna put this on YouTube, aren't you?
Yes.
Why do you need that shenanigans?
Why not? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna do my Trails character tier list. This is the one I found. I mean, there were other ones, but they had like ridiculous amounts of characters. There was one that had like all the Kuro characters and stuff on there too, and like every random student, which is kind of just unnecessary. So we're gonna do this one.
You can move the chair closer.
Do you enjoy backseat tearing?
I'm not tearing it, backseating anything.
I mean,
I'm just telling you.
You could backseat as well. I don't care. What's up, Zero? Time to start some judging my judgment? Yeah, there's certain characters that people like that I do not. Just wait till we get to Osborne. Alphen. Alphen's first, huh? Alphen's a weird character.
Now, there's like how many characters in this list?
I think 50 or 60. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 12 times 9.
That's like 80 something.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Plus a few more.
Just some of them go quick.
Some of them go quick, some of them don't. Alphen, I don't know. She's alright. I mean, she's not... I'd prefer her not to be in the fucking Rain Harem and just be flirty, but whatever. They went with the fucking Rain Harem, because of course they did. But whatever. I like her relationship with Cedric, which is good. She's frankly a much better person than Cedric for a lot of it. I could have done without the threesome jokes with Elise, but, you know, is Elise on this list? I mean, if she is, she's like going last. But yeah, she's just an alright character. She has a pretty decent arc. Elisa. Is her mother on this list? I don't think she is. Irina's a terrible character, by the way. I don't know. Elisa's probably one of the better developed characters in the quadrilogy. Also, you now only notice that Cassius Bright has a porn stash. You're not wrong, he does. It is a meme. Yeah. I mean, Elisa's like the only Rhineford that's a decent person, so, you know, that helps her. Plus, she's the only one that has a decent relationship developed with Reen that's romantic. Since she was clearly intended as the default option. Then she's really freaking good in battle, so she's good. Too bad they don't really resolve her relationship with her mother satisfactorily, but whatever. That's more of an Irina problem than a problem with Elisa. Altina's one of the best characters in the game. I mean, what else am I going to say? She starts out with no emotions and fully develops into a completely emotion-filled character. Plus, her voice performance is great. She's kind of crappy in battle in 3, but she's really good in 4, so... She probably has the best character arc of any character in Cold Steel. Kanone's on this freaking list. I mean, she's just Richard's girl. Works for him because she likes him. That's basically all there is to her. She's kind of a bland character, frankly. And she has a weird thing with Julia, too. Annalise. She's just a bundle of joy. She brings a smile to my face every time she's on screen. I wish she got more of character time, more screen time, but I like her little arc that she gave her in her door. And of all of her little bracer squad, she's by far the best one. Then she's got Cassius' sword. Angelica... Oh, God. Angelica. I don't think she's as trash as people make her out to be, but she's definitely not a great character. She's probably better than Kanone, though. Yeah, she's kind of a one-trick character, unfortunately. There really isn't much to her, other than lesbian jokes, which, whatevs. Ash. Ash is one of the best characters in Cold Steel. He has a fantastic art. He's also the only character that does something wrong and actually takes responsibility for it in Cold Steel, which is a problem with Cold Steel as a whole, where characters do horrible things and never acknowledge it. I'm sure you know exactly the characters I mean, too. Ash actually feels way more responsible and does things to actually atone for it, which I don't. So apparently Falcom can do it. I don't know why they chose to only do it with Ash and not anyone else. You mean the series? Yes, I guess. Yeah, Ash is one of the better characters in the series. He's one of the better characters in Cold Steel. Aurelia, she's cool, but she really doesn't do much, honestly. Put her in A just because she has a cool factor. But they really don't do much with her. She does that thing with Arian Road, but they don't really do much with it. Blue Blanc. Hell with his quests. Sorry. He's obnoxious as hell. He's also just doesn't do much. I mean, his backstory is weird. Um, his whole, like, darkness thing. Oh, obviously there's spoilers here because I'm talking about the characters. But yeah, like, Blue Blanc's weird backstory in third, where he was like some commoner, which doesn't really fit in how he's presented in Cold Steel. So I don't know. I think he went through massive retcons or rewrites or something, and they basically haven't done much with him, frankly. I know he's got a thing with Olivier, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Campanella, I don't know what the hell am I supposed to do with Campanella. We know nothing about him. Like, it's weird to even put him on this list. Like, he's basically a non-character right now. I mean, I guess I'll throw him in C because he's an enigma. There's not much to say about him. Sully. Sully's freaking awesome. He's one of the best characters in Crossbell. Just because I've just never seen a character like him. He's literally helpful to you, but it's only ever to help himself. Yet he's legitimately helpful. It's a really cool character. Cassius. Look, it's freaking Cassius. I mean, he's the OG. The OG badass. I could have done without him, in Cold Steel getting nerfed a bit, but whatever. He's still cool. Then he's an awesome dude that takes in Josh. Cecile? I don't know. She's just a generic character. I'll throw in B because she's a nice person. There's not much to her. I mean, she's Guy's fiance. Oddly teases Lloyd at times, so sometimes she's amusing, but she's just a generic character, really. Cedric's probably the best Iron Blood in the series because he actually has, a completed character arc, and he actually takes responsibility for his actions.
Why do you keep looking at me?
I don't know, because you're there.
Maybe I should leave.
No, you don't have to leave. Make a tier called Can't Rank. They don't have much to work with. I mean, I want to put them somewhere. I think I know every character in the thing. Like, I was going to do that if I did the bigger tier list, but I didn't really want to be here all day talking about, I don't know, Becky. Like, what am I going to do with that? Yeah, Cedric actually takes responsibility for his actions at the end of CS4. He has this massive inferiority complex that, is effectively manipulated by Osborne, who, quite frankly, abuses him emotionally. And has a cool relationship that they're forming with Shirley, so there's a lot to work with, and he's actually taking responsibility and self-exiling, so he's actually a good character. He's definitely annoying until the very end of the game, but he has a very good arc. Celine has a cat. She actually has a lot of development. I like her better than Emma, which is interesting. But I could have done without her in the freaking Reen harem. I want A or B. We'll go at the bottom of A. And yeah, I like her human form, but she is just kind of a familiar. But they actually do things with her, so she's cool. And I like how she develops that friendship with Reen over the course of the game. Claire. Oh, Claire. Oh, Claire, Claire, Claire. Claire is a character that is pretty well hated by most people for good reason. She is not a good character. Uh, she's just a better version of Lecter, and that's not saying much because Lecter is probably the worst character in the series. Um, yeah, there's lots of problems with Claire. She is a familiar. Would I say she's kind of a familiar? Sorry. What, you gonna rank the shoe store NVC in the game? Hey, that guy's got an A. He's like a really good character. Actually, I wish Anton was on this list because he'd be an S tier. That's funny. Erica's on this list, but I don't think Irina is. Anyway. Yeah, the problem with Claire is that she basically takes no responsibility for her actions at the end of CS4, like, at all. Yeah, she tries to kill herself, but that's like it. She doesn't actually go to prison. She doesn't face any consequences. She even gets to keep her job inexplicably, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, why would the rest of the world tolerate Osborne's people just walking around freely? And chances are in Reverie, she's probably going to join the party like nothing ever happened, which is going to be just completely stupid. Yeah, I freaking hate Claire. Actually, the further I've gotten away from Cold Steel, the more I've disliked Claire as a character. She's definitely going in D. I mean, the only thing good about her is her backstory is actually sympathetic, where she's being, quite frankly, abused by Osborne. The Ironbloods as a whole are just not well presented. The game tries to like make it out like what they tell us doesn't match what they show us. They tell us that Osborne treats them like children that are replacements for Reen. Nothing shows that in game. In fact, all we see in game is that Osborne treats them like tools and abuses them like an abusive father figure. So yeah, it's basically bad writing. The Ironbloods all suck except for Cedric, and I guess Rufus to a lesser degree. But the other, and well, Milliam's not that bad, but Milliam barely counts as an Ironblood. I know technically she is one, but she actually does things. Yeah, Claire just sucks. Claire's horrible as a character. Crow. I'm gonna put him in A, but Crow has problems. His fake death is stupid in CS2. Like, they literally write an actual death sequence for him. And then just like, lol, just kidding. Like, I have no problem with the fake out death, like with Olivia and shit, but you literally did a whole send-off for Crow. Like, imagine if you did that in Louve with Third, and then he's just back in the Crossbell arc. Like, that's stupid. But his actual character is good, and at least he actually, has scenes where he acknowledges what the things he did wrong with the terrorist group, and actually does try to take responsibility. So he's a good character. He has a good relationship with Reen as well. Don. Oh, he's basically a non-character. He's just freaking Josette's brother. He's not horrible or anything, but I'll just put him in C. There's not much to say about him. Dorothy. Dorothy's fun. I don't know if I put her in S, but she's used pretty well. Yeah, I think she put it at the top of the A rank. She's just a fun, all-around character. Doobly's awesome. I'd probably put her right behind Altina right now. She has literally one of the best character arcs in all of Ouroboros. They axled him. They did axle him, you're not wrong. Yeah, Jubilee has a full-blown character arc where she actually, has her beliefs questioned, and actually when it's presented that she might be wrong, she actually turns. She's a good character. Unlike her other two Stall Ritter goons that are much less good characters, frankly. Um, it is nice, too, that even though her faith is, in Aryan Road ends up being not misplaced, she still does call out Aryan Road for being wrong. Which is nice. Yeah, Jubilee's great. Could have done without her in the Reen harem, but whatever. Ellie's probably the worst of the main characters in Crossbell. Of course, that's not saying much, because all the Crossbell characters are actually good, unlike some of the Cold Steel characters, so I'd probably put her at the bottom of A. The weird thing about Ellie is that basically her character arc, she already knows where she wants to be, it's just about her gaining confidence getting there. So it works, it's just very simple. And she's hurt by the fact that there's a stupid Lloyd harem. Elise, look, I put her at the top of D, but she's not. Her relationship with Reen is kind of nasty. Sorry. The problem with Elise and Reen's relationship and the whole Elise is in love with him thing is that Reen was adopted at 4 and she was like 4. Actually, Reen was adopted at 5 and I think she was 4. Yeah, that's young enough to where they should consider themselves blood siblings, and the fact that Reen does consider her basically a biological sibling is freaking weird. Especially when they later explain that Elise apparently was in love with him, despite thinking that he was her biological brother. Okay. Yeah, Elise is a pretty bad character, frankly. She also basically spends the entire series as a damsel in distress and accomplishes absolutely nothing. Even though she's literally a capable fighter, and that makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, I hate Elise as a character. Elliot's alright. He's probably one of the better characters in, I'll put him in B. Probably above Alpin. His dad's great. His relationship with his dad and his whole arc around music is really well done. Emma. I don't hate Emma or anything. She's just kind of less interesting than Celine. Spends most of CS1 just being an enigma. But I do like the stuff they do with her and Vita. Put her in B, but I'll put her below Elliot. She is very good in battle in the first 2 CS games, and then she kind of falls down that tier list. Estelle, look, it's freaking Estelle. Obviously, she's somewhere near the top here. I mean, she's the OG protagonist. And her development from the naive junior bracer to the battle-hardened veteran that uses her optimism to encourage others is just really good joy to see that. And her relationship with Josh is awesome. She's just a great character. B's also a really good character. I don't think he's as good as Ash. Or Sally, that matter. I'll put her... I'll put her ahead of Cassius. Cassius doesn't have as many good scenes. Yeah, Fee's whole thing with family is really good. And her relationship with Zephyr. Zephyr's probably some of the better antagonists in Cold Steel. Friend's just fun. Put her in A. Put below Ellie. She's just a lot of fun. Gaius is freaking weird. I love the stuff with his different culture. Like, that stuff is good. The stuff with Nord is good. The problem with Gaius is a lot of his stuff in the later CS games happen off screen, which is dumb. And it also robs us of, the Roaring Lion getting a proper character introduction. Gaius feels like he went through massive rewrites, frankly. I'm gonna put him in C, but like above Angelica. Garcia, he's a good character. Put him in A. I mean, yeah, he's a villain, but he has that cool sense of honor. And the payoff with him in Azure is pretty awesome. It's one of the best scenes in the game, actually. George, or Georg, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, he's pretty good. Actually has a nice character arc to him. What? I mean, he's torn between, George or Georg. And it works pretty well. What is it? What? Because Gilbert's next? Look. Sorry, Gilbert is just fucking hilarious. It's all the voice, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. He actually got a good character arc at third, too. So, yeah, he's an S character. I don't know what to tell you. He's utterly hilarious. Grace. Grace's discount. Dorothy. I don't know. I'll put her in B. There's nothing offensive or anything about her. She's just a standard, generic reporter character. Hey, look, it's the total normal doctor. Look, the dude's just an evil psychopath. Yeah, I'm putting him in S. I love hating that son of a bitch. He's like one of the most evil people in the series. He's basically a lesser version of Weissman. Is Weissman actually on here? He might not be. Oh, no, there he is. Guy Banning's... He's mainly just a plot device. I mean, I guess I put him at the top of... I'll put him in... We do get a decent sense of the kind of character he is, even through his flashbacks, so... He's got a cool relationship with Tio that we learn about, and his relationship with his brother and Cecile, so... And Arios. They use Guy quite effectively, actually, and that scene at the end with Lloyd and Kia and Guy is really good. The whole military siblings type deal that Fee have. Dorothy is an S rank. I will riot. Sorry, I put her in A rank. But she's at the top of A rank. The only reason Dorothy's not in S rank is just because she doesn't have enough of a contribution to the plot, I think. But she's a very fun, well-written character. Ian... The twist of him being the mastermind is cool and all, but... He literally has like a 5-minute turn. Let's be honest here. I don't think he's horrible or anything, but it would have been nice to get more of his self-doubts. It also doesn't help matters that we don't really get any flashbacks of what happened to his family, so... He's probably at the bottom of B. Ilya's a trash character. She's probably the worst character in Crossbell. She's basically Angelica, but actually probably crosses the line into remotely offensive at times. So I freaking can't stand Ilya. Like Angelica is usually remotely funny at times. Ilya's just like, what the hell? Yona, I don't know. He's just generic hacker kid. Like, what am I supposed to do with him? I don't know. He can go there. He doesn't do much. He eats pizza all day. I mean, there's nothing offensive about him or anything. He just doesn't do much. Oh, God, Gisette.
Is there a trash bin category?
I don't know. Gisette's weird to me. Like, if we're talking SC Gisette, she's one of the worst characters in the series, because literally her entire character is this, hey, Josh, I like you. You want to bang? That's literally her character for, like, all of SC. Which is stupid, because it's not her character in FC. Third, they try to fix her a little bit. But honestly, her best moments are in Cold Steel. Which is kind of sad, because Cold Steel is definitely the worst arc. But Look, I'm going to put her in D. I'm going to put her at the top of D because she's definitely better than Elise. In fact, I'm going to move Elise below Blue Blanc. Josh. He's obviously going in S. I don't think he's quite as good as Estelle, but he's an excellent character with fantastic character development. He even gets good character development in the Cold Steel arc. Obviously, the stuff with Hamel and his sister and Luve. It's all fantastic. Julia's just cool. I'll put her in the top of A. I wish we actually got to see more of Julia, but I like her relationship with Chloe. And she's got a cool factor. Yuna, aka Cold Steel Estelle. Look, she's discount Estelle, so probably put her below Fee. She's a very good character. The only thing that really holds her down is this stupid Reen harem crap. Her relationship with Reen is much better in 3 than it is in 4. But her perspective as the person from Crossbell after it's been annexed is very good. Of course, I wish they had planned Yuna, because they clearly did not, which is kind of, but I'm not going to hold that against Yuna's character, because Yuna's character itself is very well written. Eustace, yeah, he's fantastic. I put him below Ash. His relationship with Milliam and his conflict with his brother, it's all fantastic.
You put him above Fee?
Yes, I did.
I'm shocked.
I like Eustace a lot.
More than Fee, your
Yes.
best girl?
I like Altina more than Fee. I also like Milliam more than Fee.
I mean, that's a given.
Kia's probably also an S character. Mainly because what they do with Kia is fascinating. Where should I put you?
And also the ending scene with Lloyd and his brother and Kia.
Yes, that stuff is really good too. I'm gonna put it below Josh. Yeah, the thing with Kia that they do that is just fascinating is they write a character that's the generic cute kid character that you're supposed to like, and then they do the twist of her powers making you like her, which is freaking fascinating and awesomely meta. And it's something apparently she can't control. Or that she just wants to be loved really badly. Either way, it's open to interpretation, but it's an awesome twist. And I love Lloyd's response to her that it basically doesn't matter. Kevin's fantastic. Of course, you gotta play third to know that, but he is fantastic. I'll put him there. I'll put him below Yuna. You see, Kevin is what Reen should have been. He's the guy with a power he didn't ask for. Basically lost the person he cared about most. Became a loner. Pushed everyone away. Basically was practically suicidal. And lo and behold, he isn't suddenly popular with every female in the world, Falcom. Yeah. And of course he overcomes all those issues over the course of third, thanks to Reese. So he's an awesome character. And of course he's part of one of the coolest twists in SC. Kilika, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Kilika. I don't even know why she's on this list. She's probably more of a Kuro character, frankly. I'll throw her at the bottom of C, but because I do like her design and her relationship with Zen and Walter, but I mean, what the hell are they doing with her?
But then she's like a twist villain.
Like, they seem to be setting her up to be an antagonist in Kuro, but with how lame Lecter is, I'm not sure they're actually going to go through with it, so I don't know. Chloe. At the top of A. She's a very, very good character. With her accepting her position as crown princess. And actually her struggle to think that she doesn't think she's worthy for the longest time. She also even has a good little second character arc in third, although it's not necessary. It doesn't help that Lecter plays a role in it, but the only downside with Chloe is that they're trying to hook her up with Lecter, and that's no. Please stop that. She deserves way better than literally the worst character in the entire franchise. Go hook up Lecter with Lucy, because Lucy sucks anyway. So, seriously, Lucy is like, I don't even know why they bothered creating her. She does nothing. Hey, Kurt, it's the punching bag. Sorry, Kurt, you basically do nothing in the series other than get your ass kicked. Seriously, I don't know what Kurt's purpose is. He does nothing. He just literally gets beat up. That's his character. And he's supposed to be like a B plus racer that becomes A rank at some point in the series, probably off camera because they imply he's like right before A rank. He doesn't give that impression at all. Like Arios is A rank and he's built up as this badass. Same with Zen, and Kurt's just getting his ass kicked by everybody that breathes. Like I don't know what the plan with Kurt was, but yeah. I mean, his best moments are probably the training thing with Annalise and Estelle. That's probably it. Kurt's probably one of the better characters in Cold Steel. Mainly because of his telling off of Cedric. He's basically Laura done right. To be succinct about it. It's Keel, right? Or Kyle?
I don't know, but he's a D tier character.
He is not a very good character. He's better than Josette, but he doesn't do much.
I guess.
I'll put him above Josette. Why did I even put like Don up here?
I don't know.
I should like move him down. I'm sorry, Don.
They just deserve like their own.
They're not.
Category.
They just don't do much. Like the Sky Bandits.
Yeah, and it's not her Cold Steel character either. Remember this. It's her Sky Bandit portrait.
I know, but it's for the whole series.
But still.
Josette's probably the best of the three of them.
I guess that's fair.
So, Josette's probably the best of the D ranks. Just because she actually does do some interesting things in Cold Steel. Laura swords the characters, and
I can't stand
she
Laura. I'm sorry.
she is not a good character at all. I mean, they use the reason she's in the Reen harem is because she likes swords. Yeah, that's a healthy relationship. I mean, she has an inferiority complex to her dad, which they resolve idiotically by resurrecting him from the dead with a mask, which makes no sense, not explained at all. Seriously, the mask with Victor makes no goddamn sense. I don't know what it does, because they try to say, oh, it's a different mask than all the other ones. Like, really? Because he's acting just like everybody else that had one. Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing with him, clearly. Oh, but he keeps his memories for some reason. I don't know. And they didn't have to do that. Like, it should have just been a mind control mask like the other ones.
Now we got some juicy characters coming up.
Yeah, we have Lecter. I'm trying to delay getting to Lecter. I hate that guy so much.
Just pick him, put him in F.
Whatever. Laura's not that exciting. Lecter.
F.
Yeah. Excuse me while I...
No. Just call it. I think you have to go into the gear thing and label it.
Oh, I just typed the wrong thing.
No, click on the gear.
Yeah, no, but I gotta use the,
Where it says new, type.
Oh, I know. I thought about...
out of it.
Uh-oh.
Click the gear.
I did. It's not easy to do this.
Well, you're the one with the hokey setup. There you go.
Oh, God damn it. Did that actually work? Yes. Lecter goes in his own tier. I thought about naming it the Lecter tier, but that would have been, yeah.
You're just gonna skip E and go straight to F?
Yeah, that's what he deserves. Lecter's the worst character in the series. And if you want to know why... Lecter does nothing he's set up to do. He's introduced as Osborn's right-hand man. That's immediately thrown out in Cold Steel 2 by Rufus becoming right-hand man. Just out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
So that massively downgrades Lecter. He's introduced basically... He has this weird relationship with Chloe, which goes nowhere. Same with Lucy. He's introduced in third with basically questions as to his loyalty to Osborn. They basically make it clear he's planning to betray Osborn. He literally says this to Osborn, and Osborn proceeds to goad him into betraying him. So they basically establish the question of when is he going to turn? How is he going to turn? Is it going to work? Why is he going to turn? They answer none of those questions except for the why, and the why only further hurts his character. Yeah, the why is that his dad did Hamel. And Osborn rightfully executed him for it. You know, Hamel. The town where, you know, nobles went in dressed as Liberalian soldiers to literally rape and murder people, including children. But it's okay. Curse possessed, so it's all forgiven. That's how the scene is framed. Yeah, they really ruined Hamel and Cold Steel. In ways they shouldn't have. And that's not even how the curse works. Yeah, it's a big problem with the curse plot point as a whole. They want to use it as a get out of jail free card for every single character, but it doesn't mind control you. That's literally not how it works. All it does is exacerbate negative emotions and insecurities that you yourself have. You still choose to act on them. So they want to have this thing where all the characters have agency, but they don't have agency because they're mind controlled, but they're not mind controlled, so they have agency. Basically, it's just completely contradictory. The curse makes no sense in how it functions. And yeah, so Lecter wants to avenge literally one of the most evil people in the entire series. Whether his dad personally did the stuff in Hamel or just paid people to do it doesn't matter. He's literally Weissman level evil. And he literally wants to kill Osborn for the only good thing Osborn ever did. Yeah, what the hell, Lecter? And then Lecter doesn't even do it. He doesn't even betray him. He's just literally the most blindly loyal dude to Osborn in the entire series. He's Claire 2.0, but with a less sympathetic backstory. I don't get it. Like, I'm going to guess Lecter was a victim of just massive rewrites, and they just had no clue what to do with him. Because they don't do anything. They don't even have him follow up with an apology to Hamel. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't turn on Osborn. The only thing he does to do is kill himself at the end, which I wish he had, frankly. At least it would have been some sort of punishment for a terrible piece of crap. Yeah, he's an awful, awful character. The only defense I've heard is that, well, he's Scarecrow, so he's supposed to not be intimidating. And that is if that was their intention, that means then, wow, they intentionally wrote a bad character. Congratulations. Yeah, it's just wasted potential is what it comes down to. He does nothing. Cut Lecter's character from the plot, and what do you lose? Absolutely nothing, because Claire can literally do everything he does. The only thing you lose is the second character arc for Chloe, which is an unnecessary character arc for her anyway. She already had her character arc. She doesn't need a second one. And it was a flashback character arc anyway. And it introduces Lucy and Leo, both of whom are completely useless characters. Cut Lucy from the story, what changes? Nothing. Cut Leo from the story, what changes? Literally nothing, because we've never seen him again. So I don't even know why those characters were introduced in third. Yeah, Lecter sucks. I got the Zephyr member. What the hell's his name? Leo? Leo and Zeno are alright. I'll put him in B. Zephyr's some of the better antagonists in Cold Steel. Mainly because Fee's a good character, and it actually helps her character arc a lot. Lloyd's awesome. He's not as good as Estelle, but he's a lot better than Rain, frankly. He's not as good as Kevin either. I'll put him above Cassius, but behind Kevin. Lloyd is basically Reen, but done much better. He doesn't have a million freaking harem, but the bigger thing about Lloyd, and this applies to Estelle as well, is that they have agency in the plot. Like, Lloyd has a goal of finding out who his brother's killer is, right? Estelle has the goal of becoming a bracer and then, rescuing Josh. Reen has no goal. And that's really the difference between Lloyd and Reen, and why Lloyd is a much better character. That and his abilities don't come off as, well, assholes, frankly. Lloyd doesn't have magical, mystical powers that let him magically observe everything. No, he actually did training and honed his detective skills. Like, it feels earned, what Lloyd does. Whereas with Reen, it doesn't. Everything's gifted to Reen. It's annoying. The more I've gotten away from Cold Steel, the more I dislike Reen's character. I could have done without the denseness for Lloyd with freaking women, but whatever. His relationship with Kia is awesome too. And his friendship he forms with Tio is awesome too. Luve's obviously one of the best enforcers. He has a fantastic redemption arc. I'll put him right behind Josh. I don't think he's the best Ouroboros member, because I think Duvali is better than him, but Luve still has a fantastic arc. He's also incredibly well built up. He's,
has the best goddamn battle theme in the fucking series.
He does have a very good battle theme.
Silver Will is fucking so good.
He's basically what I wish McBurn had been in Cold Steel. Like, Luve is a badass that trained to get his power. He has an amazing battle theme. Yes, Lloyd is an actual smart JRPG protagonist. You're absolutely correct. Whereas Reen is just gifted intelligence by his superpower. It's freaking aggravating. But yeah, Luve has an awesome dynamic with Joshua. He fits the priestess card to a T, the reverse priestess card, with the whole deluding himself thing he's got going on about Karen. And obviously the Hamel stuff is great until Cold Steel decides to hurt it.
But it's redeemed, that cutscene, side quest, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they do good stuff with Hamel later on, but attaching it to Lecter was a big mistake. But yeah, like, the Hamel stuff in Sky is very, very good.
His death is actually meaningful.
Yes, he actually has a meaningful, emotional, impactful death that gives him redemption. He's just a great character. Like, he's just fantastic. Luciola, I mean, I don't know. She's a weird fortune teller lady. She doesn't do much. She taunts Shara. I mean, I guess she's slightly better than Blue Blanc. I mean, she, like, dies, but then they retcon it randomly for no reason. I don't know why. There's, like, nothing else you can do with the character, so I have no idea why she's still alive. I'm guessing they're going to do something with her in Reverie, but right now she's just not that interesting an Ouroboros member. Even her backstory is freaking weird. Like, she pushed the guy she was in love with off a cliff, even though he's, like, twice her age, because he adopted her as a daughter. Like, it's freaking weird. Oh, God, whatever. Mayor McDowell. I like Mayor McDowell. I'll put him at the bottom of A. He's basically in an impossible situation and makes the best of it. So he's a cool character. He's actually a good politician character. Machias is awesome, but he's held back by the fact that his awesomeness is in bonding events. But I'll put him right there, I guess. Yeah, seriously, his stuff with his cousin is great. And then, making amends with his cousin's fiance.
Because all of that is locked in bonding events, right?
But all of it's locked in bonding events, so most people don't see it, because most people don't do Machias' bonding events because of the stupid romance system in Cold Steel 4. So you're usually going to do the girls because of that. The female characters, so Machias usually gets laid by the wayside. So almost nobody streams his bonding events, which sucks. He's an excellent character, it's just hidden. And it's a problem with Cold Steel in general. Maria Bell. Okay. Maria Bell's weird to me. I'm going to put her in B, but the thing with Bell is I'm worried that they're going to try to redeem her, and I do not want to see that. If they do that, She will literally go to Lecter tier. I'm not kidding. Like, she's been established as a irredeemable piece of crap that only cares about her own experimentation. She's basically a moralist Weissman with no noble goal in her mind at all. Like, as insane as Weissman is, he actually did believe his goal was noble to evolve humanity. Belle doesn't even have that. Like, she's basically a pure monster. And that's fine. Like, she's fine as a villain. But please do not try to redeem her, please. McBurn's a trash character. If not for CS4, he'd literally probably be here. But because of the lore dump, he probably goes to the top of D because he actually is. He's had some interesting questions about his character now that at least is somewhat interesting, but McBurn is still an aggravating character who has power he has not earned. He's basically he has the same problems I have with Rain. He's gifted ridiculous power that he doesn't train for in a series that's all about training to get stronger, which is incredibly aggravating. It's also inconsistent to begin with because they go back and forth as to whether Aryan Road is stronger than him. I mean, she spends the entire Cold Steel arc basically making fun of him, comparing him, like calling him Luve Light the entire time. But then the game wants us to think he's stronger than Luve and Aryan Road with his third form, which is fucking weird. It feels completely unearned. Yeah, I hate the lazy, arrogant character that's just super strong just because I can transform! I've always hated the Frieza thing, and McBurn is no exception. Don't put fire Shianti. I don't like his character. I like the lore questions that he answers, or that he asks.
I think his character is meant to be like a set piece to set up the future.
Yes, I think they're going to do more things with him, but I don't know what those things are going to be. I mean, I would guess jobbing to who the actual strongest freaking enforcer is, because ain't no way in hell McBurn's the actual strongest enforcer halfway through the series. No way in hell. That's probably Campanella, by the way.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's probably 22 as well. But McBurn is just kind of a lame character to me. What about Low C? Look. Alright, I'll elevate him to Low C. I still have the same
Like,
problems
he's not
with him.
on the same level as I like swords.
Yeah, no, he's definitely better than that. The problem is that he's trying to be the Ark's Luve when Aryan Road would have fit that better.
Yeah.
And frankly, Arios fits his Luve role much better than him. McBurn really just has the lore thing going for him, and the fact that he might be Professor Epstein, which is cool and interesting. And the fact that apparently there's demons beyond the realm of Zemuria, and Zemuria might be some sort of pocket dimension. Like, all that stuff is interesting and cool, but that's not really directly related to McBurn personally, so I don't know. Michelle, I don't know, he's generic. I'll put him in D. I mean C. He's amusing. He doesn't do anything, though. Oh, Aelia and Lynn aren't on this one, huh? They were on the other one I was looking at. They'd probably just be generic D characters. Milliam, she's great. Put her below Jubilee. No, I'll put her below Estelle and Josh. I don't think she's
So is
quite that
Altina
good.
your favorite character in the series?
Probably. She's one of them. I don't know.
No, I think
no,
I'd
Tio is probably
Tio,
above her.
probably. Anyways, continue.
I forgot we hadn't gotten to Tio yet. Milliam's great, though. Her relationship with Eustace. The fact that she's actually, the one Iron Blood that actually turns on Osborn when, she realizes he's cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs and trying to murder her sister. She's just good. I mean, she's just a really good character. Unfortunately, again, a lot of her stuff is locked behind bonding events. She's also the only Iron Blood that is remotely treated like a daughter to Osborn. Granted, it's off camera, but they actually do have the bonding scenes where he bought her like the teddy bear and stuff. I don't know why he doesn't do that for any of the other Iron Bloods, despite what the game is trying to make us believe. But at least they do it with Milliam. And the build up to that scene at the end of CS2 is just amazing. When she cries for the first time. She's basically a lesser version of Altina with the emotions that she develops. I love a villain whose goal is just to beat shit up, trying to find stronger shit to beat up. Yeah. I will say, as far as McBurn is concerned, it is interesting the reason why he wanted to fight somebody that is stronger. Like, it's not a generic thing. But Muriel, I like Muriel. I do hope they actually do something with Randy and Muriel. I hope she actually gets together with him. I'll put her above Maria Bell. Maria Bell, I'm going to lower all the way down to low B. Yeah, Muriel's cool. She's just cool. And she has kind of a badass factor to her. Oh god, Miller. I don't know where to put him. He's amusing, but he does, like, nothing. I'll put him in high C. Like, I like him, but you could probably cut his character and not much changes.
How dare you say that? How dare you?
Sorry.
I love him and Olivier's relationship.
Yes, I like their relationship, but he doesn't do much.
He's Kurt's older brother that Kurt admires and looks up to.
And give you something.
How dare you?
Classic Teldo show. Look, I do like Muller as a character. I just wish they did more with him. Personally. I also don't understand why he's not playable in CS.
Yeah, that's a goddamn shame.
I don't understand that.
It's a shame that he's not playable in CS.
Like, I don't understand why he doesn't... Like, he literally gets fired by Osborne and yet inexplicably doesn't directly join you. We haven't gotten to Olivia yet, but whatever. Muse's a fascinating character. I'll put her... Do I like her better than Yuna or worse than Yuna? Probably better than Yuna. In fact, I probably like her better than that. I'll put her above Usus. Muse is an interesting character because she's kind of introduced as the super smart character that knows all and knows everything. But then it's not so much a blessing as it is a curse to be that brilliant that you can change the fate of countries and put all those lives on your hands. And I love how they do that. And how that completely weighs on her emotionally and mentally to the point where she's nearly having a mental breakdown. She's an awesome character. And at least her thing in the freaking harem is her flirting all the time, which is in character, unlike, you know, every other girl, unlike, you know, Yuna.
Wait, who's next?
Neidhart.
Oh.
He does basically nothing. I'll put him below Muller. He's basically a lesser version of Muller. Only serious.
Don't forget, Muller is also a social media music fucking star.
Oh my god.
Or a star's manager. Don't forget that. He has that amazing...
Okay, you know what? Just for you, I'm going to move him to B.
Thank you, because I love him so much.
Just for you.
He's my boy.
But yeah, Neidhart just doesn't do much. He has an amusing relationship with Sarah, but...
hilarious manager.
Niall, that's his name. Yeah, he's good. I'll put him right below Dorothy. They're basically one character.
They're hilarious.
They're a good pair together. They're funny. And he's used very effectively for what little he contributes. Noelle, she's probably the worst party member of Crossbell. Which isn't saying much, because the party members in Crossbell are all very, very good. I'll put her at the bottom of A. She, I wish her turn to evil, evil, but her turn to working with Dieter lasted a little bit longer than it did. But I still think it's pretty well done. I like her relationship with her sister. Even her role in the freaking Lloyd harem is amusing, because she's just like the normal girl. Oh god, it's... What's his name? It's the Six Angus. I forget his freaking name. What's his name? Look up his name. Novartis? Is that his name?
Yes.
He really hasn't done much. He's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
No, he's not an F character. Like, he does what he's intended to do.
D or C?
I'll put him in the bottom of C. Because I like hating the guy. It's just he hasn't done much. Ren better kick his ass one of these days. Or he will go to F tier. Olivier. I mean, Olivier is one of the best characters in the series. But I'm going to put him at the bottom of S. And the reason why he's going at the bottom is because wasted potential. He needed to be a main character in Cold Steel. And he should have been the one to confront Osborn.
Hell, he could have taken Rean's position as the main character of Cold Steel.
I would have preferred that better, frankly. Olivier was set up to be Osborn's rival, and they basically don't use it in the ways they should. He's not even there for the final battle against Cedric, which is just stupid. So I think he's misused in Cold Steel to a degree, but he's still a funny character, even if a couple of his jokes are stupid. Mainly the, Tita's juvenile scent joke. I'll never get over that. Ugh, I hate that joke. But he is a good character with a lot of development and character. That, and I always like characters that pretend like they're morons, but they're actually brilliant.
All right.
Oh,
Here we go.
I'm so tempted to put him in F. Osborn, Dreichels, whatever you want to call him. He's such a weird character. He's introduced so well in third and Crossbell arc. He's used very effectively. Even in most of Cold Steel, he's used very effectively. And then suddenly the second half of CS4 comes and he's a totally different character out of nowhere. He's set up as basically Erebonia, Alan Richards / Dieter Kreuss. And that's very interesting. The guy that's an idealist from, wants a strong society through strength of will, get rid of the caste system that he views as destroying society, and then give prosperity to the rest of the world through force. Like, he's an interesting character, but no, actually, he's just a mind-controlled servant of Ishmelga. No, actually, he's just pretending to be mind-controlled, and everything he did was apparently to set up its destruction, even though that doesn't make any sense, because there's things he did that had nothing to do with that, like, stripping Yuna of her academic credits. Yes, I'm sure that was critical to stopping Ishmelga. Just like I'm sure firing Gideon from his job and blacklisting him to the point where he becomes a terrorist. I'm sure that was critical to stopping Ishmelga. Yeah, Osborn suffers from clear rewrites. They definitely... I'm not even sure Ishmelga was planned as a thing. Because he really does seemingly come out of nowhere in 3. And then the fact that it's an actual living character in 4 is just ridiculous. Just completely ridiculous. And it's inconsistent as all hell. There's also the fact that Osborn basically the game tries to portray him as a self-sacrificer, except he's not. Seriously. A self-sacrificer by definition sacrifices themselves. Osborn sacrificed everybody. He's not a self-sacrificer, he's a monster. And the game doesn't portray him that way.
He sacrifices everyone but himself.
He does sacrifice himself at the very end, I guess.
I guess.
But he also sacrifices everybody else with him. That'd be like, you're gonna blow up your own starship, but nobody's allowed to evacuate. Like, what the hell is that? That's not a self-sacrifice.
Right.
So, yeah, I think he's a bad character, honestly. There's also the fact that he's literally abusive to his own son, yet his son inexplicably forgives him for being the most abusive father in the series. Seriously. There's literally scenes where he's basically twirling his evil mustache at Reen. Mm-hmm. He murders Milliam in front of him. Forces him to illegally annex Crossbell and Northumbria, which, by the way, could have gotten Reen killed, so for a guy that supposedly wanted to protect Reen and give him a better future, he had a funny way of showing that, when he could have literally died to a random, tank bullet at any time in those wars. So that makes no sense. His actions don't make any sense. I'm not even, like, why did he even abandon Reen if you're just gonna bring him back to manipulate him anyway? To become a propaganda tool for you. So this doesn't make any sense. His character was definitely rewritten. Yeah, I can't stand Osborn. And my biggest issues with him stem from the ending. That last scene with him and Reen, that scene really irritates me. Especially since Milliam is still dead at that point. Like, Reen has no idea she's going to come back. And yet he's not pissed at Osborn. He literally has that ridiculous line of what the hell's the line? It's, oh, I'm glad I know your true intentions. Dude, the guy abused you. Like, it doesn't matter what his intentions were. He's an abusive father. It would have been far more... If you wanted to make Osborn a more tragic character, have him do all that. Have him claim, like, you know, I did all this for you. And then have Reen not forgive him. Have Reen tell him what you did was unforgivable. And have Osborn effectively fade away, upset that he's never going to be able to make amends to his son. That's a far better fitting end. And a far more punishing end to a guy that did just atrocious things. He's literally the worst dictator in the entire series. He's Weissman, but with an actual noble goal. That still means he's still Weissman, though. I mean, that's what he does. So, yeah. I'm not going to put him in F, but he's definitely worse than Ilya. The only reason he's in D at all is because his introduction is good. But he is a terrible, terrible character. Okay. So, yeah, I hate Osborn so much. Patrick's a bro. We'll put him in B. I mean, there's more problems I could talk about with Cold Steel, but I'll put him at the top of B. I like Patrick. He's a good character. I mean, the other problems with Osborn are with the Iron Blood. It's just not being consistent with what is told to us. He literally says about his son, he literally calls Reen his useless puppet of a son. Like, on camera. Like, goddamn. I know their stupid explanation is that he's pretending because of Ishmelga, but then you gotta show us his mental state inside. We can't just read his freaking mind. That's not a good excuse when you just tell us things instead of actually showing it. Randy's awesome. He's basically the best version of Crow, right? We'll put him above Cassius, I guess. Put him below Lloyd. He's very good. He's a very good character. Love his relationship with his conflict with the foils with the rest of Red Constellation. And his relationship he develops with Lloyd is excellent. And culminating in that final confrontation with Sigmund. It's all really good. Plus that scene when he goes off on his own. Stuff's amazing. Like Brandy's awesome. Reen. I don't know where to put Reen. Reen's basically a much less interesting version of Lloyd. All of his talents are basically given to him with his superpowers. He doesn't earn anything. And he also has very little agency in the plot. He's a very reactive character. That's what I mean by that. Seriously, Estelle wants to become a senior bracer. Like, she has an active goal, right? And she works towards that goal, achieves it, and then she gets a new goal of saving Joshua. She works towards that. And then even after that, she has the goal of saving Ren. She works towards that. Whereas Lloyd works towards the goal of finding out what happened to his brother Guy, like who murdered him, investigating that and finding the answer. Reen does nothing. Like, his entire thing is, oh, I'm lost in life. And then shit happens, and he's dragged into different things over and over and over and over again, and basically has no goal of his own, ever. Yeah, he has no self-goal, he has no agency. in the plot. Things just happen to him, and he reacts to them. And then it gets even worse in CS3 and CS4. Well, especially mainly CS3, where he's just manipulated as basically a complete puppet of Osborn, which lasts so long that it gets to the point where it's frustrating. Where you're working for the guy that is obviously the villain, doing incredibly evil things, and yet the characters just refuse to turn on the villain. And that goes on for like 70 hours. It's way too dragged out. And even by the time they actually sit down and finally decide, hey, maybe we should turn on the villain then proceeds to, do the whole growl thing. And again, the characters are reacting. It's very frustrating. Like, what I would have done is I would have had Reen form an underground resistance at that point. Give him actual agency in the plot. Have him form, a coup attempt. But whatever. It's also kind of weird, like even the whole sword thing, like becoming a divine blade, that was never his goal. In fact, he wanted to give up the sword because he has no self-confidence. Like the good thing I can say about Reen is he is an interesting take on the selfless hero. That the person's actually suicidal. But unfortunately, they just don't resolve it properly. I think both endings are bad, frankly. The normal ending is terrible, where Reen self-sacrifices, despite the fact that the entire message of the game is that self-sacrifice is bad, and it doesn't work, and you should value your life more. Reen inexplicably blows himself up. Okay, well that doesn't make any sense. Like, what were you doing in the plot and the writing there? So the bad ending sucks. And in the normal ending, Reen was still going to do that until Fran showed up and was like, hey, don't do that. Use the thing that you were literally told you could use like 3 hours ago. And the other problem with Reen is that a lot of his abilities, like his detective work, is just his super eye ability that apparently Divine Blade wielders have, or 8-leaf Blade wielders have, even though Cassius never showed anything like that. Arius never showed anything like that. They're basically retconning in abilities for the 8-leaf style of swordsmanship, which is kind of dumb. Yeah, he's a reactive protagonist instead of a proactive. He's a chess piece moving by the board by the players of the story, yeah. And that's what's frustrating with Reen. I'm gonna put him at the top of C, just because he is very good in battle. And there are good Reen moments. But the ending really hurts him, and his lack of agency in the plot really hurts him. I mean, he has no business forgiving Osborn either, frankly, or any of the characters that he forgives, and it doesn't help his character at all. Now, I think Reverie will, if I had to guess, speculating here, I think Reverie will present Reen with a choice of self-sacrifice, and he'll choose on his own not to, and that will be the correct choice. And that would probably raise him to a B rank. But that hasn't happened yet, so top of C he goes. Ren, she's probably the best character in the series. Seriously, she's the best character I've ever seen cover, well, the topic of, a child being sexually assaulted and recovering from that trauma that I've ever seen in a video game. And it's taken very seriously, and it's actually for her character arc personally. And she's the one that overcomes it. I mean, Josh and Estelle help, of course, but, it's her taking the step to overcome it. She's just a great character, and even in Cold Steel, she's used very effectively, like with her conversations with her mom and her dad. And, I mean, even her relationship with Pattermatter is fantastic. She's an awesome character. Probably one of the best characters I've ever seen. Reese is awesome. Put her below Kevin, because, I mean, the two kind of go together. I think Kevin's a little better than her, but the way she helps pull Kevin out of his despair is just awesome. And the sequence where she tells off, the fake version of her sister is great. She's definitely the best Squire in the series. Risha. Risha's awesome. Mm, she's definitely going near the top. I'll put her in between Estelle and Josh. She's just awesome. The only downside to Risha is her backstory is hidden on you, but even without it, her journey of being, accepting the light side of her darkness, right? With the Arc NCL stuff, is just great. I was like, where's my water? Here it is. One thing you could write based a little on your die is keeping a major aspect of the Osborne military, but he also has a resistance group fighting the fight. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of problems I could go over with Cold Steel 4. I do think Cold Steel 4 probably has the worst writing in the series, but it's really held up by a lot of good fan service moments. Yeah, it would have been nice to have Breen actually do something resistance-wise. Like what's going on in Crossbell, but whatever. Rose, I don't know. Rose is a good character, I guess. I'll put her there. There's nothing offensive or anything about her. She's fun. She's cool. She's got a cool relationship with Emma. And I like her relationship with Leanne and Osborne. Oh, and speaking of Osborne, yeah, the other thing that about Osborne that infuriates me or that irritates me is he didn't just go to Rhodes 500 years ago. I know people have argued, well, Osborne had no choice. There was nothing he could have done about Ishmelga. He had to do this overly convoluted plan to stop Ishmelga. Yeah, no, he didn't. The game literally gave an alternative. Go talk to the witches 500 years ago when Ishmelga was a lot weaker. And use the power of the witches in some way to even if they couldn't stop Ishmelga, certainly mitigate his power in some way. And yet he chooses not to because Osborne is a stubborn piece of crap who would rather endanger the world because self-sacrifice, even though that's not self-sacrifice, that's endangering everyone. Yeah, Osborne / Dragos is a bad character. There were alternatives he could have done. Hell, Vita had a plan that Osborne idiotically interferes in CS2. Right? She was setting up a fake rivalry to try to stop Ishmelga, which Osborne interferes with the whole Infernal Castle stuff. Rufus. Okay, Rufus is in danger of being here after Reverie. I'm just telling you right now. For right now, I'm going to put him here. If he gets a damn redemption arc in Reverie, I will be pissed. I will tell you right now, I will be pissed. The dude stabbed Arya Road in the back. He does not deserve redemption, period. He's a scumbag. But he's a scumbag that actually is willing to pay for his crimes. He also has daddy issues, which is not very interesting for his reasoning, but whatever. I get Osborne manipulated somebody that has severe daddy issues and gave him a father to surpass. That's another way that Osborne basically abused somebody. But yeah, Rufus, the confrontation with him and Eustace at the end of the game is really good. And Rufus is a good villain. The only thing I'm worried about is, for some reason, Rufus is in Reverie trailers, and I don't know why. He's supposed to be in jail. Which makes sense. Oh, that's another thing. Why aren't Claire and Lecter in jail at the end of Cold Steel 4? Why would Calvert and the rest of the world be okay with remnants of Osborne just walking around? For a series that usually has grounded politics, that makes no sense. In fact, why is Irina not in jail? She built weapons of mass destruction for Osborne. Why is Van Dyke not in jail? He led an illegal war. Yeah, there's people that do terrible things in this series, and they're just completely let go, and they don't face any consequences at all. in a real life situation, Erebonia would have been forced to sign a Treaty of Versailles like treaty, where they would have been basically demilitarized completely. Now, yes, they're being sanctioned to basically out of existence. So they're definitely not gonna, I don't think they shouldn't be a superpower logically by the time we get to Kuro. They should be much weaker than Calvard. But Claire and Lecter need to be in jail, along with Rufus, for the rest of the series. I mean, if you're gonna let them out, it's got to be because something major happens, and it's for specifically for him to get redemption by actually doing, good. Like you could, like I could see you redeeming like Dieter, or like what Alan did, right? Where Alan Richard got redeemed. Like he was in jail for a lot of Sky, paying for what he did, and he was only let out reluctantly because he didn't want to be let out. But he was let out to help, fight off Ouroboros, which he does, and he gets pardoned for it as a result. And he's still insisting the entire time, I don't deserve to be pardoned. Like, he's genuinely remorseful for what he did, even though what he did, you could argue had merit. What Rufus, Claire, and Lecter did basically had no merit a lot of the times. They were just doing horribly terrible things to people for a plan they didn't even know was a thing. Yeah, like, by all accounts, none of the Ironbloods were actually told what Osborn was actually planning. Supposedly they figured it out on their own, but when exactly that happened is very unclear. And again, even if they knew the plan, their methods were so atrocious that there's just no forgiving it. And yet they're just walking around. And apparently they're keeping their positions of power, too. Like, that makes no sense. Why does the RMP exist? It shouldn't exist anymore. It should have been disbanded. Same with the Intelligence Division. Like, you have to have actual consequences. I don't agree with people say there's no stakes in CS4. There absolutely is. If we had done nothing, World War Zemuria would have killed millions of people. Even if Osborn's plan had worked, which I don't think it would have. But there are a lack of consequences for a lot of characters that do really horrible things. Which is why Cedric is very refreshing. He self-exiles, takes responsibility. Hell, even George takes responsibility for his actions and actually is genuinely remorseful and sorry for what he did, to the point where he actually goes out of his way to help. That doesn't happen with Lecter, Claire, or Rufus. Well, it doesn't happen with Lecter or Claire. It does happen with Rufus, but I'm worried they're going to screw it up in Reverie. I'm really worried about that. Rucker. He's good. I'll put him above Rufus. Has pretty much one of the most emotional death scenes in Cold Steel. Has an awesome relationship with Fee. And he's a genuinely good person at heart, despite all the horrible things he does. Because, he actually does treat his unit like family. Like, they really are basically his kids. He's basically what the game tries to convince us Osborn is to the Ironbloods. Rutger is that. Which is why I don't understand why they didn't do that with Osborn and the Ironbloods. Like, you should have done that. But, whatever. With Rutger, they actually do it. And it's effective because of it. And he actually, does die, so he does pay for what he did. Sarah, I don't know, she's alright. Could have done without her in the Reen harem, but I'll put her in B. I guess I like her better than Emma. I don't think I like her as much as Elliot, but she's cool. And the Purple Lightning, the stuff in Northumbria with the Northern Jaegers is really, really good. A lot of good moments with Sarah. Scarlet, she's actually taking responsibility for what she did, working with the church now. Now, yes, she could have been in jail longer, but frankly, Osborn was the one that arrested her, so screw that guy. I hate Osborn, so oh well. But I'll put her in C. I'll put her below, or Yeah. But she's a character that has the potential to be elevated because I'm guessing they're going to do things with her in Reverie. I like her backstory a lot, but she just hasn't done a whole lot other than the terrorist stuff. I don't know. I kind of hope she'll be playable in Reverie, but I don't know. Shara. I like Shara. I'll put her in between Chloe and Julia. Her backstory in third is really well done. And the role she plays as like the mentor in FC is great. And into SC, her character's great. And I actually like the stuff with Luciola on Shara's end, even if I'm not a huge fan of Luciola herself. And the relationship that she has with Olivier, and obviously the whole wedding sequence, that stuff is great. That's the best part of the CS4 ending. Oh, I'm not mad at all, by the way, that Milliam and Crow come back at the end because Valimar dies. So I think that's a fair trade. Valimar, I don't think is on this list. He'd probably be an A character, if you're wondering. Pattermatter would be an S character. I do consider them characters. Ishmael's not on here either, which is weird. Ishmael would be another F character because the curse makes no goddamn sense. Schmidt, I don't know. He's an asshole. I can't stand Schmidt at times. I get what they're doing with him, but he's not a pleasant character to be around. I can't believe Irina's not on here. That's unfortunate because I wanted to talk about her. I'll just talk about her now. She'd be a D character. Yeah, the thing with Irina that I can't stand is they set her up to. I don't think Alberic's on here either. Wow, that's weird. Whatever. Who cares? It's just Alberic. It's a garbage character anyway. Actually, no, I kind of like Alberic because at least he's evil and has no qualms about it. But seriously, for Irina, oh, we have Sharon coming up. Let's talk about her then. Sergey, he's cool. A little mentor figure and Crossbell. Probably put him above Maria Bell. I like him. This tries his best to reform the system that is super corrupt in the police force. So he's a cool dude. All right, I'll talk about Irina. The problem with Irina is that she's set up to as this woman that lost her husband. She's grieving over it. And she never properly grieved, right? And hence she becomes an incredibly abusive mother, mentally and emotionally, to Elisa. And that's fine. That's a good setup for a character. The problem is they don't do anything with it. She never apologizes to Elisa. She never has that moment where she finally grieves for her dead husband. And then they do the weird thing with Alberic anyway, which complicates things unnecessarily. Alberic should have probably just been a separate character. Should have had nothing to do with the Reinfords, in my opinion. And then Irina doesn't really face any consequences for the fact that she made literal weapons of mass destruction for an illegal war. Again, she should be in prison at the end of CS4. In fact, the Reinford group as a whole should be disbanded as part of the treaty to end the war. Van Dyke's another character that really should have been arrested at the end of the game for leading a war. Yeah, Van Dyke's a garbage character. He's an F character. If Irina was on here, she'd be at the bottom of D. Van Dyke would probably be an F as well. He'd be above Lecter, though. The problem with Van Dyke is he just doesn't do anything. And he has no reason whatsoever to be helping Osborne at all. In fact, there's one scene where he's set up to turn on Osborne when the whole fortress is summoned, and yet inexplicably in the next scene, he's just leading World War Zemuria, even though he knows it's going to end the world, which makes no sense. Yeah, Van Dyke's a garbage character that clearly went through massive rewrites, and they had no clue what to do with him. So he suffers massively as a result. Sharon, basically the girl that's punishing herself because she murdered Franz. The problem is that the Alberic stuff really overly complicates this, and the whole reveal that Alberic really isn't Franz, and it's not Franz that she killed, it's Alberic, actually hurts her backstory a lot. Like, she has less of a reason to be so self-hating, but I do love the scene where she gets together with Anton and the two basically start dating because Anton convinces her to stop punishing herself for something that's not her fault. I will put her in B. I'll put her below Muller. Shirley. I actually like Shirley. She's had a nice subtle arc the entire time. I'll put her above Guy. I mean, Shirley basically is completely psycho in Azure. Completely psycho. Um, but she starts to mellow out after Cold Steel thanks to Rishia's words. And eventually, by the time we get to CS4, she's actually formed a genuine bond with Cedric to the point where she's willingly holding back to try to get him to overcome his inferiority complex. And actually is the one that really saves that scene with Cedric because initially that scene looks like it's going to be like, oh, Cedric's being mind controlled by the curse, even though that's not how it works, but he's hiding behind the curse possession thing. And it's Shirley that comes up and says, no, you chose this. You got to take responsibility. Like, you wanted power. This was your decision. And that's a really good scene. It's a really good scene. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Shirley because she's grown a lot as a character, and that's good. I like seeing villains that develop. Shizuku, I mean, she's awesome. I love her relationship that she forms with Kia. I mean, that moment when she does get her eyes back, but the first thing she does is comment on how sad Kia looks. It's one of her best moments. That and how she talks to her father and how she's just so upset with what he's done. Really feel for the poor girl. Sigmund, I mean, he's basically just a foil for Randy. I'll put him in B, but I'll put him at the bottom of B. Nothing wrong with the character. He's a good villain, a good foil for Randy, but I don't think he's quite as good as Shirley, because Shirley actually has a full-blown character arc, whereas Sigmund's more of just a foil. I mean, yeah, he does care for Randy at the end, but you have to, put the pieces together. Aryan Road's amazing. Um, I'll put her below Kia. And mainly the reason why she's so awesome is because of how her arc really relates to Jubilee. I mean, she's badass as hell. But, her backstory is genuinely sympathetic with her relationship to Drycoles and her desire to save him, even though she knows that she can't ever be with him. Like, she's actually self-sacrificing and doesn't intend to hurt anybody in the process. Like, her plan is literally to kill Ishmaelga and save hopefully Drycoles. But she makes the mistake of relying only on herself, which Jubilee calls her out for, which is nice. It fits the whole themes of the series. She's an excellent character. She's just awesome. Thomas, I don't know. I have no idea where to put Thomas. His reveal is great. Is Rosine on here? No. No, Rosine is not on here. That's surprising. Rosine would probably be like a D. She just doesn't do anything. But Thomas I'll put in B somewhere. I'll put him above Cecile. His reveal as a Dominion is cool. His power is interesting. His character is cool. I wish he got more development, but he is one of the more interesting Dominions that we've seen so far. Well, he's an interesting Dominion that we've seen, so I mean, he's not as good as Wazzy. Is Wazzy not on here? Oh no, Wazzy is on here. I was gonna say, Wazzy better be on here. Tio. She's my second favorite character in the series, behind Ren. Obviously, her backstory is fantastic with the DG cult stuff. Love the friendship she forms with Lloyd and their common connection to Guy. I actually can buy the romance of her and the harem, so that's good too. Basically, there's nothing bad about Tio's character at all. She's awesome. She's also really good in combat in the crossbow games. And she has an amazing design. And even in Azure, she doesn't develop much in Azure, but the bonding event where she's gonna try to reconnect with her parents, that stuff's awesome. I mean, she's a Kudere, so she's awesome by definition, but seriously, she's amazing. All the Kuderes in the series are good. Tita. Tita. She's probably the worst character in Sky. Which isn't saying much, because she's still a good character. But I probably would put her in B. I'll put her in high B because I love the scenes with Agate after Agate gets hurt. And when she's standing like between Agate and Luve, that scene is amazing. She's badass in third, the robot. I could do without some of the Agate-Tita shipping jokes, but whatever. I'm not completely against their relationship once Tita's like 19, 20, whatever at that point, but it does get a little weird sometimes. It's mainly with Olivier, but whatever. I do like what she does for Agate's character. Tobal basically does nothing. I don't know. I'll put him in D. He basically does nothing. Yeah, he has a cool factor and a cool nickname, but that's basically it. He's better than Swords the character, I guess, but his relationship to Ayn is cool, but that's all he's got going for him. Toa. Well, Toa's automatically a good character because she's in 2 different games. She's in Tokyo Xanadu as well. No, seriously, it's a different Toa. But yeah, I'll put Toa above Shara, but below Chloe. The girl that puts on a front, but is actually really close to breaking. Yeah, it's basically Toa in a nutshell. She's awesome. And she's one of the few characters in the Reen harem that I can genuinely buy getting together with Reen due to their shared trauma. Victor, he's misused. I think he should have just stomped McBurn in CS2. That scene has always aggravated me because he was pretty clearly built up to beat McBurn in CS2 and then just loses inexplicably, which is stupid. I just think McBurn is way stronger than he should be. Especially, what really bothers me about it is McBurn pulls out a sword he has no clue how to use, and yet inexplicably beats a guy that is a sword master. That makes no sense. It's never made sense to me. And this is the series where everyone that can fight basically is super powerful. So, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I guess, but what I would have done with McBurn, I think it's a missed opportunity for McBurn. I would have had McBurn clearly been able to win the fight if he didn't pull out the sword. Basically, I would have had it so that him pulling out the sword actually made him weaker because he doesn't know how to use it. And then after that in CS3, he would go to Aryan Road, get sword training, and then he would just raffle stomp Victor. That's what I would have done with McBurn. But whatever, that's just me. But yeah, they don't use him much. And when he comes back with the mask, it makes basically no sense. The mask that he has is very inconvenient, or very inconsistent with all the other masks. They say like the curse is directly controlling him, which doesn't make any sense. Vita, I don't know. She's alright. She's not as good as Rose. I'll put her down there. She's actually a decent person at heart. Actually tries to stop the curse, so. And she's cool as a playable character. And I like her dynamic she's got going on with Rose and Emma. And the reveal when she's actually in Anguish is good. But honestly, I kind of wish we got more from her. But I do like the sequence where she's helping you at the end. What the hell's this guy's name? Vulcan? I think it's Vulcan. Look, he's kind of an irrelevant character. I'll just throw him above Swords, the character. His whole purpose is just to die and make Reen sad. I mean, just literally it, so he can then save Scarlet. That's basically his role in the plot, which he does perfectly fine, but whatever. Wald, I don't know. I'll put him below Reen. He doesn't do much other than be a little rival for Wald. Or Wazzy, sorry. But I mean, I like the whole his rivals leaving him behind kind of thing, and he can't deal with that, so ends up taking Gnosis. Although it is weird. That's another thing about Wald that kind of actually makes me question how McBurn is so powerful. Wald literally does the same thing McBurn does. Why isn't Wald as strong as McBurn? Because they directly state that that Wald is like the perfect Gnosis candidate. He's perfectly like he can transform with the weaker Gnosis, which makes him completely in tune with the Beyond, right? At least based on how they explain Gnosis, and yet he's clearly much weaker than McBurn for some reason. Or for some reason McBurn's natural version of it is way stronger than that. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but whatever. The whole demon transformation thing is weird to me. Yeah, Gnosis was manufactured by the DG Cult through the experimentation of T.O. and all the other test subjects like Ren and Co. But the way they explain it is that it effectively taps into the Beyond and causes you to transform into a demon from the Beyond. Except, and Wold is like the special one that's able to transform with the blue Gnosis, which you're not supposed to do. So he has like a perfect connection to the Beyond or something like that. I don't know. They don't explain it very well, but that's what I got out of it anyway. But it's just weird how his transformation is nowhere near as strong as McBurn's. But I guess McBurn's the real deal or something, is what they're saying. Which makes sense. I mean, McBurn is a natural version of that, but I would think that Wald would be much, much more powerful than he's shown to be in that form. I mean, I guess McBurn could literally just have a much higher base power level, and that's why he gets so much stronger when he transforms, but whatever. Walter. I don't know. I mean, he's just Zen's rival. I'll put him below Novartis. He'll probably do more things than Kuro, I'd imagine, but I mean, it's the stuff is interesting with the backstory with when you find out the truth of the fight between Walter and his master, and how Walter's actually the weakest link of all of them, which is cool. It's a nice little reveal. But that he doesn't really do much other than that. I don't dislike the guy, but I wish they did more with him. Wazzy. He's obviously in S tier. It's just a matter of where in S tier. Better than Kevin or worse than Kevin? Better than Kevin. Look, Wazzy's awesome. His reveal as a Dominion is one of the coolest moments in the series. His backstory, albeit hidden. Oh, that's another thing about Walter. The whole reveal being hidden behind having to bring Zen and being able to not bring Zen is so stupid. Same with Luciola and the Shara thing. Like, it should have been mandatory. Like, they shouldn't be missable scenes. But yeah, like Wazzy's backstory being missable is dumb. But other than that, he's a fantastic character. I mean, he has a great personality. He has a really good character arc. And his relationship to Wald is awesome. He's just great. He has a good dynamic with Abbas, too. And all the Testaments. There's pretty much nothing bad about Wazzy. He's just amazing. Weissman, one of the best villains in the series. I'll put him right below Luve. He's fantastic. He really is fantastic. Has one of the best, most awesome cliffhanger reveals of all time. When he reveals himself at the end of FC. And he's just incredibly intimidating and threatening. And yeah, I mean, he's insane. Thinks that he's going to evolve humanity for the better, which he's not, obviously, but that's what he thinks. And also has that sadistic side where he just enjoys torturing people just because. Yeah, he's fantastic. And lo and behold, Kevin murdering him is one of the best scenes in the series. Yeah, bad things can happen to bad people, Falcom, and it's totally cool. Zeno, he's just basically Leo. I think he's the more interesting of the two, but that's not saying much. He's slightly better. Zite's cool. I'll put him in S tier. He's awesome. Below Olivier, though. Has one of the coolest reveals as like a divine beast. That's freaking awesome. Zen, I like Zen. I'll put him in A tier. I'll put him above Noel. And above Mayor McDowell. He's just cool. Has a cool little character arc around Kilika and Walter. I hope they actually do something with him and Kilika. If I had to guess, Kilika's going to go astray in some way, and Walter and Zen are both going to try to get her back on the right path or whatever. Something like that. Agate has fantastic scenes. I mean, he's just amazing. I'll put him between Toa and Chloe. As much as, the Tita Agate ship might weird some people out, they do have very good moments together. Particularly, Agate with the whole backstory with his sister and practically being suicidal. And Tita kind of giving him a reason to go on. The two just play off each other so well, and how they both help each other, and it's an equal relationship. It's just awesome. Like Agate, then returns the favor to her and helps her get her motivation back when she's gonna give up on, making her robot. The two literally help each other equally. It's why I really don't have a problem as long as the two are adult characters, putting them together. Because they literally do have an equal relationship. So, yeah, I don't really have a problem with it in the long run. I mean, I have a problem with it now, but once Tita's like 20, then I won't care. Especially since Agate never pursued her at all in that way. Richard's one of the best characters in the game. Or in the series. Guy genuinely believes he's doing the right thing. I'm going to put him above Arian Road, actually. In fact, I'll probably put him above, in between Weissman and Louve. Seriously, the guy's an awesome character. Genuinely believes he's doing the right thing to prevent Liberl from being annexed. It's kind of hard to argue that he's wrong, but his methods are obviously wrong. But his fears are not unfounded. And then, when he's actually stopped and he realizes he's also been manipulated too, he's genuinely regretful and remorseful. He's a complex character. He's definitely awesome. He's fantastic. He's also broken as hell in third. Arios, I'll put him in A. I'll put him above Rutger. He just has a fantastic introduction as the SSS's rival, and finally overcoming him as the final barrier for the end of the game of Azure is just awesome. It's just such an awesome moment. And, it's hard to, not understand his pain of being caught in the middle of Erebony and Calvert, and what happened to his wife and his daughter's injury. And how that kind of shaped him into the person he is. Now, yes, he does not go to jail at the end of Crossbell. Now, the reason why I'm okay with that for Arios and not, the Ironbloods is Erebonia illegally invades and annexes Crossbell immediately afterwards. There's no time to arrest Arios or put him in jail or whatnot. There's at least very little time. And obviously it's to their advantage to just let him go so that he can be a member of the Resistance as one of the most powerful fighters in Crossbell. And that's a way for him to atone for what he did. Whereas it's not like Ian Grimwood could help them overcome Eraponia. The guy's not a fighter, right? Same with Dieter. Whereas, at the end of CS4, every problem for the most part is solved. There's no reason for any of the Ironbloods to be out of jail, other than Milliam, obviously, because Milliam didn't do anything illegal. But Claire Lecter and Rufus all need to be in jail. And so should Cedric, frankly, but obviously Cedric is self-exiling because they knew they wouldn't put him in jail. Eugen's not on here, but he'd be another, D-rank character. The Emperor, he's a terrible character. Has no agency of his own in the plot. It's just a complete puppet, and yet the game acts like he's somehow a good emperor. That's how the game wants to portray him, which is just so stupid. The dude is incompetent and should have been portrayed as such. In fact, he probably should have been overthrown by the end of the series, or the end of the arc. And Osborne should have just, literally usurped him. And I would have just had him die, frankly, because he's pretty useless in CS4. I don't even know why he survived. It serves no purpose other than... I'm guessing the only reason they had him survive is to pardon Ash, but that's unnecessary because there's Alphen, and you could just have Alphen become the Empress at the end of the series, end of the arc anyway. So there's no reason for her dad to survive. Dieter's awesome. He's the best villain in the Crossbell arc. Oops, you gotta go above Joachim. Seriously, he's just like Richard, genuinely believes he's doing the right thing. Making Crossbell a superpower, not also to get revenge on Erebonia and Calvert that it's so politically mangled Crossbell to the point where it can barely function as a society. And it's hard to kind of argue against him. But at the same time, his methods are very dystopian and extreme. Yeah, we're almost done, though. So yeah, Dieter Kreuz, and he's set up nicely for a redemption arc come Reverie. If he gets one, which I think he will. He's basically Alan Richard 2.0, and he's pretty much nearly as good a character as him. It's also one of the coolest moments in the series is when he motivates the SSS with his justice speech, which then turns around on him for them to oppose him based on his own beliefs, which is poetic justice. It's really well written. Dieter's awesome. Dudley, they basically do nothing with Dudley. I'll put him in the bottom of C. I don't even know why he's a party member at the end of Azure. There's nothing offensive or wrong about him. He's a fine character, but he basically doesn't do anything. I have no idea why Ina's on this list, but she's utterly hilarious, so I'm going to put her in B. Plus, she literally can drink infinite alcohol, and it's utterly hilarious. And she turns Anton down, which is funny. Anton's not on here, but he'd be S tier, just so you know. This is Erica, right? I don't know why Eric is on here, not Irina, but whatever. Erica, I guess I'll put her at the bottom of B. She's amusing. Her husband would probably be right next to her, frankly. Dan, I think his name is. Lucade is S tier. Good enough. Yeah, Lucade is S tier. Yeah, I mean, Erica, she's funny at times. Sometimes I think the joke goes too far with her hatred of Agate, but it is amusing. And, you know, she does genuinely care for her daughter, which is cool. Like, I like that they're not just absentee parents. And she has an amusing relationship with her dad, which is cool. Sully? Sully is awesome. I'm debating putting her in S tier, actually. She has a really excellent character arc, going from the thief to becoming a star herself. The dance sequence in CS4 is one of the coolest moments in the series where Sully really gets to shine. And they're setting up a nice thing with her and Kurt. Oh, that's another thing that pisses me off about Kurt. He was clearly supposed to date Yuna at some point, and they decided to put Yuna in the Reen harem idiotically. But whatever. If they're setting up Sully and Kurt, so be it. That's fine. But yeah, I don't understand the thing with doing that to poor Kurt. But yeah, I like Sully. Yeah, I'll put her at the bottom of S tier. She has too much blood in her alcohol circulatory system. Yeah, Ina doesn't get drunk. There we go. That's basically it. Let's see if there's anything else I want to do. Yeah. Yeah, Ren and Tio and Altina are definitely my 3 favorite characters in the series. I think I want Estelle above Jubilee. And probably Risha above Jubilee, too. Yeah, we'll do that. Put Milliam at the top row, too. All the lollies. Not all the lollies are in S tier, and Tita's here. She's a lolly. Oh god, is she the only one that's not in S tier? Well, the Shota's not in S tier. Does he count? Holy shit, I think she's the only lolly that's not in S tier. Oh god, she is the only lolly. Well, Alpin starts as one, I guess. That was not intentional. I'm sorry, that's definitely not intentional. Look at yeah, Weissman's S rank. I think he's one of the best villains in the series. Why does I hate the guy? He's one of the best villains in the series. There's actually more Cold Steel characters than I thought I would put up in the top tier. But they're mostly new Class 7, aren't they? Is every new Class 7 member in S tier? Let's see what? Yuna, Altina, Muse, Ash. No, Kurt's not, right? But Kurt's in A tier, so. Yeah, new Class 7 in general is better than old Class 7. Oh, in general, as far as the other students are concerned, CS1 and CS2 students are significantly worse than CS3 and CS4 students because they just have less to do and the less development. Except for Alan, Bridget, and Ferris And I guess Emily and Teresia do something in CS4, which whoop-de-doo. Those are the only students I think that matter. And I guess Beryl, but Beryl's a total enigma, so who the hell knows? Oh, Hugo and Becky, right? Although Hugo should have faced more consequences than he did. But I like Becky a lot. And Mint's, I guess, around. She's funny at times. But virtually all of the NPC students in CS4, in fact, all of them are in CS3 are very good. With Maya probably being the best one. With her relationship with her dad. Joseph. I actually remembered his name. I think this looks pretty good. At least for me. Obviously, it's just my opinion. Okay, Osborne, let's not do you that dirty, dude. Ilya, you need to be, like, bottom there. That's the big thing. Yeah, that's right. Josette's a better character than Osborne. She is. Demote Dorothy S. rank. Dude, I don't know if I can do it. I like her, though. I like her. Alright, just for you, Zero. I'm gonna they are amusing together. Alright, there we go. I think I'm gonna finalize that. The two are genuinely funny. Like, Dorothy's genuinely funny. Especially when she just falls asleep on the airship at the beginning, like on that one, I think at the beginning of third, it just ends up in Calvert. It's just hilarious. Yeah, I like how virtually every Crossbow character, well, I guess not Novartis, but he barely counts. Michelle. Killica, I guess, but she barely counts too. They're pretty high up there. Yeah, there's a decent number of Sky characters that are low tier. Lecter's all by himself. I'm sorry, Lecter fans. I really hate him. I hate his character so damn much. At least characters like Tatsu and Xenoblade Cross are annoying because they're designed to be annoying. Like they're written that way on purpose. Lecter was written to actually do things and then doesn't. So that's pretty much like the most cardinal sin to me. Comedic relief done well. Yes, Dorothy is very good comedic relief. She's done very well. So it is 8 o'clock. So now we have a decision to make. Do we stream Xenoblade 3 for an hour? I'm not against it. If Ren, Sharon, or Sarah's top tier throwing hands, Ren is top tier. Ren is not only top tier, she's literally number 1. I don't know where I put Sarah. She's in the B rank. Sharon is probably C? I don't... No, she's also B. Ren's top tier. Not only is she top tier, she's number 1. She's my favorite character in the franchise. Alright. Guess we'll end here. I'll be back with starting up. Is that Kuro fee picture that you see? No, I don't think so. No, they're using the CS4 Kuro. Or CS3 4 fee. I don't think there was a Kuro fee on here. The Kuro fee has I think long, like, flowing hair, if I remember correctly. Not that I know what she does in Kuro, I just know that she exists. I mean, I've seen some trailer footage, that's about it. Yeah, there's other tier lists that I found to this, but they have like way more characters in this, and I didn't feel like one of them had like the Grand Master on this. Like, what the hell am I gonna do with that? Like, I know nothing about her. She's like a total enigma. Like, how am I supposed to rate a character like that? Rating freaking Campanella was hard enough. Like, what am I supposed to do with him? I know nothing about him. But whatever. Plus, some of them had like Monk on there. Like, really? What am I gonna do with Monk? Like, he doesn't do much. You know, like Emily and Teresa are on there. One of them had like Aeolia and Lynn. It's like, yeah, I like Aeolia and Lynn, but like they don't do anything. Campy would be good in Cold Steel if he did his cucumber attack. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't turn you into a pepper. That's weird. But whatever. I'm gonna end this, and I'll be back in probably 5 to 10 minutes for some Xenoblade 3. We won't play very long, but I want to get a little bit of the story done.